It doesn't get much better than this. We woke up with another beautiful sunrise, and we stayed in a great campsite last night. We were just on the northern border of the national park, in some forested area, just along the shoreline. We stayed there super stealth, respectfully, and leave no trace. We left very early, hoping to get to Tobermory by lunch. I have to point out that last night's camp arguably was our best camping experience yet. And it was stealth as well. So our beds, our tents were flat. We had no pesky neighbors and no bugs last night. And we were camping on the shores of Georgian Bay. Friggin' awesome. Great way to wrap up our trip. But we do have another 15-20k left to go. We stayed at an awesome campsite because later on there was lots of signs that said no camping. We followed the shoreline ever so briefly, then we went back into the forest and eventually back on top of the ridge overlooking Georgian Bay. The first part of the day was quite difficult, navigating some rocks and rock faces along the shoreline and along the cliffs. I would say, despite the fact it was difficult, the leg of the adventure that was within Bruce Peninsula National Park was the best, the most beautiful, and the most challenging. The trail itself led us down the escarpment one more time, but this time we walked towards some flats within the peninsula, and we left the shoreline for quite some time. We entered an old golf course, and I say old because it is abandoned, no longer in use. Despite this, just in case, we did ring the bell. With only a few hours left to the end of the trail, both Chris and I were blasting. Relatively easy, we thought, because we seemed to have our trail legs after a couple weeks on the trail. About an hour just south of Tobermory, there was a large chunk of the Bruce Trail that was rerouted. We were one of the first people on this trail. It was quite soft-packed. Then after that, we were back onto the shoreline. Rocky shores, super enjoyable. If we peeked out to our right, we could actually see bits and pieces of Tobermory. Whom am I wearing? Well, let me tell you. I've got a outdoor research bucket hat like that, my cotton bandana, Columbia shirt. Sliding down, I've got the Gossamer Gear hipster for my camera bag. I've got my outdoor research Feroci pants, outdoor research trail runner gaiter. I've got my Ultra Lone Peak 4 RSMs. They're the ones that have a waterproof membrane by Event. And then I'm rocking my Gossamer Gear Kumo 36. I think that's, my Gossamer Gear trekking poles. That's who I'm wearing. Right now, we have about 2 kilometers to go till the end, and we're on the most civilized part of the trail. It's managed by Parks Canada. We've also walked by several tourist attractions, beautiful scenic lookouts right by them, because at this point, we don't care. We're looking forward. Averaging just a little over 30 kilometers a day. 2 good friends just blasting north from Niagara Falls to Tobermory. Despite the fact that the 890 kilometers were very grueling, both Chris and I got along well and became even better friends. After landing at the northern terminus, we scored a hotel room and then went off to dinner and rewarded ourselves with a hamburger and a beer. Today we went from the northern borders of the Peninsula National Park to Tobermory. The Bruce Trail, 2 men, 25 days, and 890 kilometers.